Now, your first look at high school football scores and highlights from across the valley with Mo Carter and Hannah Olavino. This is First Down Friday night on WZDX, sponsored by Northeast Alabama Community College and Bojangles Chicken and Biscuits.
Thanks for staying up late with us, and welcome to another edition of First Down Friday Night. I'm Mo Carter, and that's the lovely Hannah Olavino. And, of course, we're in the final weeks of the regular season.
Tonight, more tickets to the playoffs will be punched, and we even have some games where regional titles are on the line.
Now, we'll get to those games shortly, but tonight we'll start off with a team that's in the playoffs for the first time since 2006. We're talking about the Sparkman Senators. They were on the road tonight at Milton Frank Stadium taking on a fired-up Grissom Tigers team. We'll pick things up early. Senators will be a 3 seed in the regional. Devin Kimbrough, check him out. He rolls out, breaks off a tackle, looking for a man, throws up a prayer, and it's answered as Nathan Gunn hauls in the touchdown right there for the first score of the game. Extra point was good, and the Sparkman Senators on top, 7-0. Let's go to the second half. Jackie Gibson takes the handoff, and watch him break so many tackles, hits the circle button on PlayStation for the spin move, and gets into the end zone for a score. That's another touchdown. 16-0 Sparkman on top. And hey, if Gibson did it once, let him do it again. A 6-yard touchdown right up the gut. Senators screws in this one by a final score of 30-7. Next week, Sparkman will play host to Decatur, while Grissom will travel down to Brewer. Also in Class 7A, James Clemens had the tall task of facing Hewitt-Trussville tonight at Madison City School Stadium. We'll pick things up early on. Huskies with the ball. Paul Tyson finds Logan Pitts on a slant route, and just like Jerry Rice on a slant route, he is gone. 78 yards for a Husky touchdown, and they start fast with a 7-0 lead. Hannah, remember I said these two words can be very dangerous? Ensuing kickoff, but not a good thing for James Clemens on this one. Devin Atkinson mishandles the kick on this one. Trevor Sisk comes up with the recovery, and the Huskies have the ball deep inside of James Clemens' territory. Coach Waldrop cannot believe it. Later on, Paul Tyson, the great-grandson of Paul Bear Bryant, calls his own number and says, "I'll take it in for a touchdown myself." He puts them up 14-0 in the first 2 minutes of the game. Later on, Tyson would throw another touchdown pass. It was 21-0 midway through the first quarter. And let's check out your final. Huskies go on to beat James Clemens by a final of 44-13 next week. They will play host to Florence, while James Clemens will play host to Austin.
East Limestone is trying to hold on to the last playoff spot in 5A Region 8, but if the Indians lose to Brooks tonight, who sit in second, it will hurt their chances. Now, even with a loss, they could still make it. We'll have to see how the rest of the region finishes. We start in the third quarter. It's all tied up at 7 when Andrew Paris goes long to Dominic White to pick up 35 yards. As the rain comes down.
Mother Nature not kind in this game at all.
No, it's not. A few plays later, Zachary Cosby gets the ball, and he will take it in for a touchdown. That puts the Indians up 14-7. Later, Brooks on the move when Noah Turbyfield takes the handoff, but he fumbles the ball.
That'll happen when the ball is slick.
It is. White recovers it for East Limestone. Let's go to the final score. Brooks goes on to win 21-14. Next week, East Limestone will host Tanner, and Brooks will host Lauderdale County.
I'm sure that Lauderdale County Brooks game is going to be packed with those two schools being right on Highway 72. All right, everyone, don't forget, we're on social media at Mo Carter WZDX, at Hannah WZDX. You know the drill. Shoot us a tweet. We may read it later on right here on WZDX. And we're just getting started right here on the Week 9 edition of the show. When we return, we will take a look at what's going on in one of our local 4A regional games. A lot of playoff spots up for grabs. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back, football fans. As we do each and every week, it's time to tell you about our Spirit of the Week, which was brought to you by the wonderful people at Bojangles. Yes, Mo has Bo.
This week it goes out to the Sardis Marching Band.
All right, let's tell you about the Sardis Lions Marching Band. Of course, they are under the direction of band director Rick Whitmire. Sarah Grace Battles is the drum major. The band has 50-plus members and competes in various contests all around the state of Alabama. Tonight they played a variety of music, including the hit song, We Didn't Start the Fire. Once again, that's the Sardis High School Band, our Spirit of the Week. Hannah, let's send it over to you.
Westminster Christian is at Madison County tonight to fight for the final playoff spot in 4A Region 7. The Wildcats haven't made it to the postseason since 2014. They're going to try to change that tonight, while the Tigers have gone 5 straight years. Now, last week, both of Madison County's 2 quarterbacks were injured, and linebacker Matthew Flynn and running back Tate Province had to take over. But thankfully for the Tigers, Austin Mills is back tonight. In the second, the Wildcats lead 14-0. Province gets the ball, and he races down the sidelines into the end zone to cut their lead in half. Later, Madison County on the move with under a minute left in the half. Mills hands it off to Province, and he runs it up the middle here to pick up the first down. On the next play, Mills fakes the handoff to Province, rolls out, and Matthew Flint there catches it in the end zone to tie the game up at 14 going into halftime. But Westminster Christian goes on to win 31-21, a big win for them tonight. Next week, the Wildcats will host Priceville, and Madison County will travel to Scottsboro. Madison Academy is in a 3-way tie for the top spot in 4A Region 7 with Randolph and Sardis. Now, those two are playing each other tonight. We'll get to that game soon. First, the Mustangs need to beat DAR. In the first, Will Bailey is on the move, but he is in trouble. Andy Shad flies in and takes him down, and the Patriots go 3 and out. But they get the ball back, and Bailey is going long, and he finds Braden Lewis to pick up 19 yards. Later, it's 4th and 2. Bailey hands the ball off to Tyler Evans, and he runs it to the outside and dives for the pylon, but he's marked short, and it's 1st and goal. Bailey keeps.
Could have gave that to him.
I know, but they get it here, so not a big deal. They go up by 6 after missing the extra point, but not much happened in the Patriots' favor after that. Madison Academy goes on to win 51-6. Next week, Madison Academy will be at Briarwood Christian, and DAR will play at Brindley Mountain.
Now, Madison Academy fans, we're keeping track with another big game in the region tonight between Sardis and Randolph. The winner of this contest will host a playoff game in 2 weeks and possibly win the region title. So let's take you to Sports Midfield for all the action. First of all, we want to say congratulations to Maggie Mitchell. She is your 2017 Randolph Raiders homecoming queen. Now let's get to the action. Randolph was up 14-7 late in the second until Sardis scores on the QB keeper by Logan Gasden. Goes up the middle, 14-14 as we go into the break. In the third quarter, Lions driving again. Tamon Wilson takes the handoff. He goes up the gut for a score. That puts the Lions on top 21-14. Can Randolph make a comeback? Hey, they came back from 20 down last year to beat Sardis, and it looks like they'll do it again. Sam Kimmel on the halfback pass to a wide open Brad Layton down the field. First down Raiders. Later in the drive, faces 4th and short. The ball goes over Levon Fletcher's head. Sardis would take over, and eventually they would just run out the clock. As you check out your final score, Sardis goes on to beat Randolph by final up 28-20. Next week, Sardis will play at Boaz, while Randolph will travel up to Wilson. So let's take a look at your top 4 teams in that region. By virtue of a victory tonight, Sardis wins the region and gets the #1 seed. Madison Academy comes in 2nd, while Randolph is 3rd, and Westminster Christian, after beating Madison County tonight, they get the 4th seed.
We have to take a quick break, but there's more high school football action coming up, including Rogers at Wilson. Stay with us.
If you've got a score from your favorite team, send it to us right now. Let's get back to the highlights on First Down Friday night on WZDX.
Welcome back, sports fans. Last week, a state record was tied on the gridiron. Hatton freshman quarterback Slade Berryman passed for 323 yards and 5 touchdowns, including this state record-tying 99-yard touchdown pass to senior receiver Matt Sherrill. Of course, this was a part of Hatton's 40-8 victory over Phil Campbell last week. Sherrill finished the night with 249 receiving yards. That's the most in a single game in the AHSAA since Justin Pride's 249 yards happened in 2011 with Butler High School, or what used to be Butler High School.
All right, we're taking a break from the action to check out our MVP of the week.
Last week, Bob Jones's rushing attack, it was nearly non-existent against Grissom early on, so head coach Kevin Rose told his team to air it out and let DeMontrez Brown make a play, and he definitely followed through.
The Troy commit caught not 1, not 2, but 3 touchdown passes while Holly did 156 yards through the air in Bob Jones' 21-0 win over Grissom. Brown was excited about winning the award and locking in a home playoff game.
I feel good to lock up that spot and just happy that I got my team to the second spot in the second place in the region and in the playoffs. Feels good that we came out there and we made that happen.
You got to have somebody that you trust, that you know's been in big games and played against good people, and you know you're not afraid to go to him multiple times a game. You know why these other guys are growing up.
If you think you know of an athlete that is deserving of our First Down Friday Night MVP, just shoot us an email. firstdownmvp@rocketcitynow.com with the player's name, school, position, and
stats.
There you go from the last game. The winner will be announced every Wednesday night on WZDX. And, of course, we'll recap it right here on First Down Friday night. Now, of course, we say one of our best games for one of the last games. 8-0 Rogers is ranked second in Class 4A, while 8-0 Wilson is ranked fourth in 4A. Both teams are guaranteed to finish in the top 2 spots in the region, but only one could walk away with the region title. Let's take you out to Wilson High School tonight, and of course, it was a very wet game in this one, so you never know what can happen when Mother Nature prevails. Both teams still at 0 when Tucker Brown will call his own number here, and he runs along the sideline. It takes a questionable no-call late hit from the Rogers defense. Fans not happy with the hit. Later on, Alex Rogers will throw it up for John Lucius for a touchdown. That makes it 7-6 after the point-after attempt was no good. Now, Wilson still not done as they continue to watch the rainfall, man. Clay Crafton takes the handoff here, and guess what? He finds the end zone for a score. Not a lot of happy fans at Wilson, so let's check out your final score on this one as Rogers goes into Wilson and wins by a final of 23-7. Next week, Rogers will take on Hamilton, while Wilson will play Randolph.
Decatur Heritage took on Lynn on Thursday night. If the Bears win, they will claim the region title for the first time since 2006. It's scoreless in the second. Jordan Davis takes the handoff and fights for extra yards, but he fumbles the football, and Hank Davis recovers it for the Eagles. They don't have it for long. On the next play, the pass is intercepted by Noah Jackson, and he takes it 55 yards to the end zone. They didn't get the extra point, though, so it's 6-0. After a 3-and-out by Decatur Heritage, Lynn wastes no time. Jordan Davis races 42 yards to the house, and the Bears go up 12-0.
Yeah, this guy's pretty fast.
Just a little. Later, Jackson jumps up and in for the touchdown, and Lynn goes into halftime with a 20-point lead, and the Bears go on to win 27-13 next week. Decatur Heritage will host Tharptown.
All right, let's check out Aggie Vision. Albertville hosting Southside Gasden. The Aggies are currently in 4th in the 6A Region 7 standings. Let's see how they would do tonight against Southside Gasden. Of course, they needed a win to hold on. Check this out now. James Riggins is, I'm talking about wide open, and he hauls it in for a touchdown. Extra point was no good, and the Panthers lead the game 6-3. And that was the score at the half. In the third, Griffin hands it off to Devin Laster, and watch him take it right up the middle, and then eventually gets along the sidelines, and he is gone. Touchdown. Panthers now on top, 13-3. Albertville's like, we got to find a way to come back. Down 13-6. Tyler Tarvin finds the gap between the defenders, takes it down inside the 5 on the very next play. It's go Allen. He hands it off to Jacob Dindy. He takes it in for an Albertville touchdown. They're first in the game, but the extra point to tie the game up. The extra point to tie it up was no good. Let's check out your final score on this one. It was a pretty close game down there in Albertville. Southside pulls off a 20-18 victory over Albertville. Next week, Albertville will take on Guntersville. Let's take a look at some of the other Week 9 action from around the way. Huntsville goes into Gasden City and wins 38-35. That means that they are going to the playoffs, while Bob Jones, who has that second seed in the region, they beat Buckhorn 48-20.
Austin beats Athens tonight 69-28, and Florence takes down Hazel Green 49-27.
All right, some other scores to tell you about. Muscle Shoals all over Decatur 28-6. Hartselle all over Columbia 54-0.
May Jemison beats Lawrence County 32-27, and Etowah takes down Scottsboro 47-27.
Plainview beats New Hope 36-3, while Deschler edges out West Limestone 20-14.
Falkville takes down Tanner 20-16, and Fife shuts out Gasden 56-0.
And I have a question for you. Are you ready for the Magic City Classic?
I am so ready, Mo.
All right, well, we're going to get the rest of the people ready as they get prepped and prepared for the big game tomorrow in Birmingham. We've got a preview coming up next.
Is right here on WZDX. First Down Friday night.
Welcome back. It's time to get to some college football action with Alabama and Auburn on bye weeks. Our main focus now is the Magic City Classic tomorrow, Mo.
That is happening tomorrow in Birmingham. Coach James Spady would love to give Alabama A&M fans back-to-back wins in the Magic City Classic for the first time since 2009. Now, of course, with a 3-1 record in SWAC play, Alabama A&M is feeling really good about their positioning, and they're in prime position to make a run at that Eastern Division title. But first, they must take down a somewhat rejuvenated Hornets team that's just coming off of their first victory of the season. We asked Coach Spady if he saw any difference on tape of the Hornets, especially since they have a new coach, and he gave a very casual answer.
Saturday may be different because they've had some time to kind of put things in place, but I haven't seen much different. What I saw on film was the same football team that I saw game 1, game 2, game 3, and they won a good football game against a good opponent on the road, and they're playing with a lot of confidence, and we're not going to overlook that by any stretch of the imagination.
Now, Alabama State is trying to forget about their first 5 games of the season. They lost them all, and then their head coach, Brian Jenkins, interim coach Donald Haley-Lee wants his team to finish the year out strong, and beating Alabama A&M would give them momentum down the stretch. So the Hornets have been doing everything they can to be ready.
We added noise to practice. We added a little different tempo, game-changing type situations. But, for the most part, those are the only things that we can control that we could practice. The other stuff they would have to get used to once we arrive at the stadium. We need, you to bring your best self and play above yourself in this game.
William Bellin, the coaches unveiled a new trophy for the winning team. It has every score in the game's 75-year history.
We'll have full recaps and highlights of that game tomorrow right here on WZDX. What about Jacksonville State? Well, they're celebrating homecoming by hosting Southeast Missouri tomorrow. The Redhawks are 2-2 in conference play, while JSU's OVC win streak is now at 28 games. Now the Gamecocks did trail in the first half of last week's game against Eastern Illinois, which is something that does not happen often. But head coach John Cross says he thinks it was good for his ball club.
Well, I just thought it was good for us to be in that situation. It's not a situation you want to be in often, but I thought it grew our team, and they faced some adversity, and we had to come back and respond, and find a way to flip the momentum, and we were able to do that. Took some character out of our team, and show what we were about in the second half, how we responded.
The UNA Lions are hosting Delta State tomorrow, and this is a must-win for UNA. The Lions are on the hunt for another title. If they can win the next 3 games, they have a shot at playing in the GSC championship game. The 4-time defending champions have a chance at a 5th straight title after things in the conference were shaken up last weekend with the top teams losing. Head coach Chris Willis says first they have to focus on taking down the Statesmen.
Delta State offensively runs a hurry-up offense, so they try to get off about 100 plays. They want the defense to try to grade about 100 snaps of football. Very fast pace. I call it basketball on grass, so to speak. You know, they've struggled here of late. Not sure what's going on. It could be some quarterback issues there, trying to figure out which one.
So, of course, it is a very big weekend of games. You and I are heading down to the Magic City Classic. Are you ready?
I'm so ready. It'll be my first time going, so I can't wait.
I'll make sure you definitely have a great time. We've had a great time tonight, and we appreciate you staying up late to check out First Down Friday night. We promise you next week we will have so many games you're going to be like, wow, how did they do that? For Hannah Alavita, I'm Mo Carter. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll see you next week.